Hi, weirdlings. Good morning. As I lay sleeping this morning, I heard the Green Man. Not surprisingly, in that he is silent slumber and awakening or rebirth. It is that tide of year after all. And because I awoke with him, I will share some of my thoughts of him with you. But first, dreams. Their interpretations, and perhaps more notably, their interpreters, are found throughout the lore. Now, when I say the lore, I mean immediately the Eddas, the sagas, the skaldic poetry, and then further afield, as seen in Germanic mythology and folk beliefs, which also includes the European folklore from the Middle to the early modern ages, with, of course, its Christian influence. And as I have mentioned in all of my books, my lore references also comprise tales from Irish, Slavic, Gothic, and the corresponding regions and eras. Now, respectfully putting aside the Green Man for just a moment, I want to chat about dreams and dream visions. This latter being a phrase that I coined to denote those dreams that are more than dreams. And we've all had those. Those hypnagogic or hypnopompic experience that were so real when we awoke, we had this expectation or urgency or some other quite pronounced sensation. The list of Old Norse lore, and only Old Norse lore, that contains dream vision references is extensive. In fact, most of these fall outside of the standard Eddic and saga texts, so few have the discipline to actually read them, let alone glean them for substantial references to mystic musings or Seidr. A few of these common and not so common texts include Vigurstyr saga og Hydraviga, Laxdælja saga, Njol's saga, Honsa Thorsa saga, Gunlag saga Ormstrungu, Fjordsoga og F Inarire, Drauga saga, also Greta saga, because I really love a good Draga tale. And anytime you're going to see Draga, you're going to see a lot of Seidr and much knowing elements in the lore. Also, Volsunga saga, Vigaglum's saga. And again, these are just to name a few from the Old Norse alone. So if you truly want to learn Seidr, then read those tales that relate both the symbols particular to the origins of this mystic way, and that relate information on other world beings in all their glory. Fetches and trolls and Tivar, oh my. Not only are these wonderfully entertaining tales, but they're educational. In fact, foundational to the daily praxis of heathenry, but more so for me, for mystic living. At the least, the transition from original pagan thought to Christian interpolation is clearly discernible when reading these texts. That makes it easier, in my opinion, to demarcate those elements when I read them today, so that I can extrapolate the original thought from the later interpolation. Now to return to the Green Man. He is found carved on wood and cut in stone in pagan temple sites and medieval churches. He is found from Ireland to Russia. So not strictly a Celtic symbol as is so commonly considered today, and so certainly far removed from a neo-pagan symbol. He is also found here on my bookshelf. Today, many academics consider the foliate head and face of the green man a representation of rebirth and regeneration. At the least, the early church in Europe latched onto that particular symbolism. I personally lean more to the Jack of the Green or the Krampus origin, both having strong anthropomorphic roots. After all, since the Paleolithic, humans have been anthropomorphizing the world around them. For example, look at Germany's Löwenmensch, or the Lion Man. It's 40,000 years old. Then you have the shaman or the sorcerer, which is depicted in the cave Les Trois Frères in France, is 13,000 years old. And personally, I include the Jotuns and Gigjar into this category, namely the personification of abstract concepts and natural forces, which does not detract from their reality in the least. So what does it mean to have such a dream vision? For me, folklore is a reflection of a soul's era. It is an image and idea that rose up during a particular time among a particular group of people for a particular reason. As such, I try not to layer that original meaning, that primal meaning, if I may, with my modern day interpretation and mindset. Folklore weaves daily living with otherworld reality in a way not necessarily experienced today. For me, as a scholar and seer, I want to recall, reclaim, reaffirm, re-enliven, and most certainly re-remember that relationship between humanity and the natural world. Returning to the green man as returning, as rebirth from primeval past, the reason I think this figure still looms large, particularly now with the Santa Claus, Father Christmas imagery all around us, is as a beacon that guides us to that bridge of past, present, and future. Certainly, we modern humans still have a need for Father Nature, perhaps more urgently than ever in a world where man is quick to destroy the wild wood, equally as some of us seek to stand and speak for its preservation. So 2 things in closing. First, consider the green man's counterpart, the Sheila Nagik. And second, I would like to finish with a quote from my favorite author, Henry David Thoreau, who wrote, "Shall I not have intelligence with the earth? Am I not partly leaves and vegetable mold myself?" As always, thank you for joining me. And as ever, be happy, be healthy, and be whole.